It's time for the Splash Live from Civic Center TV, featuring stories from and about people like you in the greater West Bloomfield area. Simulcast on cable, 89.3 Lakes FM, social media, and the web. Now live from Green Media Center on Walnut Lake Road, it's the Splash Live.
Live, local, social, it's the Splash Live on Civic Center TV and 89.3 Lakes FM. Thank you so much for being here. I'm your host for today, Kevin McIntosh. Jumping straight into things, Lions fever has been caught all around greater West Bloomfield. The NFL's Thursday night football featured our very own Detroit Lions hosting the Green Bay Packers for a win at home, 34-31. Now, before the game, I spoke to some of greater West Bloomfield's biggest fans of our favorite team. Starting off with West Bloomfield resident Christopher Forbers, who told me he waited his whole life to be a happy Lions fan, and this is his moment.
Hey, Detroit Lions. Hey, man, I've been a long suffering fan with Detroit Lions. But, hey, you know, it's great to see them doing what they're doing right now. I'm definitely a fan, and I do support them. I've actually traveled to see them play. I just went to the Houston game, so this is great for me. You know, it just makes everything that much more sweeter around this time of year.
Correct. And after last season's success, Jessica Sogui told me she's happy to ride the wave of great memories to hopefully another incredible finish to this season.
Oh, I am so proud of the boys, both last year and this year. I really hope that even if we don't make it to the Super Bowl, that we at least make it well off into the playoffs like we did last year, and that we continue that winning streak and that positivity streak, because for so many years, us Metro Detroiters have been big fans of the Lions, and I'm really happy to see more of the nation becoming strong fans.
Bandwagon fans is what we like to call them. And fans have all different places they think the Lions can go this season. But Harry Thompson and his wife Melanie Thompson have their Honolulu Blue Hearts set on one thing only.
Hopefully they will get to the Super Bowl. Whether they win or not, I don't know, but it would be a pleasure if they did. This is just new territory.
That's correct. That's correct. And the success of the Lions has the entire greater West Bloomfield area feeling optimistic about the future. The Lions look to extend their dominant win streak to 12 straight games as they take on the Buffalo Bills at Ford Field Sunday, December 15th. We want to hear from you as well. You can tell us your favorite places to watch the Lions, your game day traditions, and more on our contact form page. Go to civiccentertv.com or go to our Facebook page, Civic Center TV 15. And if you're watching on Civic Center TV, get those smartphones out and scan that QR code on your screen, and it'll take you directly to all of our links. The Soul Cafe is always doing its part in helping those with special needs in our community. And Civic Center TV's very own Jake Schaff has the story.
For the last 8 years, this restaurant has been treating customers to great food and a warm, cozy environment to relax. But it's the work they do for their employees that is most worth talking about today. Soul Cafe in West Bloomfield has been well known for their employment of people with special needs, providing them with fun work experience and giving them the tools they need to succeed. It's also provided them with a close community of people they can rely on. So close that some might even call it a family.
We are a restaurant that's part of the Friendship Circle trainee program. What we really work to do every day here is to make a comfortable, safe place for individuals with special needs to come and learn, train, work in a work environment, which is all part of what the Friendship Circle is about. How this developed really was that a lot of the kids that they took such great care of became older, and the parents were looking for something for them to be able to go to and give back and do good for our community. We based our trainee program about the needs of what the restaurant is, and not only our restaurant, but the goal is to find employment elsewhere at different restaurants so that we can continue to grow the program and to continue to train and employ individuals with special needs.
It is a great program. I think that, multiple people with special needs, need a program like this because it helps them and to grow, especially when people are helping them to work and train throughout the whole program. So it helps out, and I truly love it myself. So I think it's a great program. A lot of people don't, have the ability to do something like this, especially when they're special needs, because they need a place to be, to be trained, to work, to socialize. So that's what we're here for. That's our actual part of being part of the Soul Cafe, is to socialize, to work, to help train, and to work together as a big family. So that's my personal feeling about this place.
If you could describe Soul Cafe in one word, what would it be?
We're all about our soul. Really, it's understanding and seeing the beauty of every soul, of every individual, regardless of where they are or who they are. Sometimes that's forgotten. We look at what people, their outside is, or what the outside looks. But over here, we're all about inclusivity and everyone has a shining soul, and we want to bring that soul out.
It's the kind of place where you can't help but smile every time you walk in the door, as Soul Cafe continues to do great work for the community, and more importantly, continues to change lives as well. For Civic Center TV, I'm Jake Schaff.
Thank you for that great story, Jake. And that's a true testament to the connection that local businesses and organizations have to the residents of Greater West Bloomfield. We'll continuously keep you updated with things that the Friendship Circle and Soul Cafe are doing, or you can find out yourself on their website, friendshipcircle.org, for more information. Did you know Greater West Bloomfield is home to many prominent figures, such as Mike McKinstry, who actually showed off his accomplishments from over the past year with his show, The Basquatch Hunter, Fish Out of Water, which also airs select episodes on Civic Center TV and 89.3 Lakes FM, including 3 Michigan Emmy nominations, a Telly Award, and over 288 million with an M home seeing him on some of our favorite local lakes. And more recently, he took his massive hit show on the road to visit some of America's top athletes. And now he is joining me now for Inside Scoop on that episode. Mike, thank you so much for being here.
Hey, how you doing? Thanks for having me on.
Man, doing just fine, man. I was doing some social media scrolling and came across your page and saw that you just went on an adventure recently, traveling to Atlanta, and actually met with the pitcher for the Atlanta Braves, Dylan Lee. Just talk about how that collaboration came about, please.
Yeah, so first of all, thanks for going on my socials. That's where I kind of post all of my behind-the-scenes stuff and the action stuff, so I appreciate you going there. Mm-hmm. Yeah, this one was actually different. Usually when I plan episodes, it's a pretty big process of, brainstorming and, writing and coming up with ideas, reaching out to people. This one was exactly the way it should be. We had a mutual friend in the fishing world, and they said, hey, you two need to meet. And that's how it started. And we ended up flying down there and having an absolute blast.
That is pretty cool, too. See, one thing I know about your show, if I'm not mistaken, is you pretty much, if people aren't familiar with it, kayak fishing, you introduced them to kayak fishing. But if I'm not mistaken, he was already familiar with it. So just talk about the overall, what you learned from Dylan Lee and what you all talked about. Give a little bit of information if the episode isn't out already.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, the episode's going to air next summer, actually. I think mid-August. It'll air on Discovery Channel and then online, streaming everywhere. But yeah, this episode was fun because he's one of 2 guests our entire season who actually have kayak fished before, let alone fished before. Most of our guests have never held a fishing pole. So in our show, we get to capture their first experience, not only how to fish, but catching their first fish. And in this one, it was I actually liked it a little bit. It was a little bit different because I didn't have to teach him how to do anything. I had to teach him how to use the kayak a little bit because he wasn't familiar with this kayak. Right. He's never been in a pedal drive kayak. So there was some differences. But we got to hang out and just talk, and, we felt like we were old friends that just haven't seen each other in a while, and that's what fishing does. And we just hung out and talked for 5 or 6 hours, caught some great fish, and got to learn a whole lot, not just about fishing this time, but about each other and our paths and our journeys. And it was an incredible episode.
Right. That's actually pretty I wasn't expecting that, like him to be as experienced with fishing and doing things like that. So to the point where you really didn't have to teach him or tell him anything. That's very unique, especially with him being a professional athlete. So I would imagine from some of the pictures that I saw on your Instagram that you actually went to his field of play also. What were some things that you learned from Dylan Lee as well?
Yeah, so it's funny. After every episode is done filming, the guest or someone involved in the production always asks me, what was your favorite episode you filmed so far? And it's funny because I always have the same answer where I'm like, I don't know. They're all amazing. But this one, at the end of this one, I just stood around and I looked around the field and I was like, you know what? I think this is my favorite one because it was so grand and so incredible. Like we got to have full access to the field at Truist Park in Atlanta, Georgia. And if anybody's ever been a fan of baseball, you know how protected that grass is. It's so sacred. It's so tough to be able to walk on it, let alone work on it. And I got to hit some baseballs. I hit over 100 baseballs, actually, up to 75-mile-an-hour fastballs and sliders I was hitting. Hitting out to outfield is incredible. Got to throw pitchers from the mound. Again, we got to just hang out and talk and just have amazing conversations. And, one of the coolest things happened, too. I actually brought it out here with me, but check this out.
Oh, look at you.
Yeah, they made me a custom official Atlanta Braves member for the day. So
oh my
I couldn't
goodness.
pass that up either. So it was a blast. It was so much fun. And, I'm not the biggest baseball fan in the world, but something about being in that atmosphere turns you into a kid all over again. And, there was a lot of groups of kids there doing tours and going crazy that they saw a professional baseball player on the field. And he stopped to sign some autographs and take pictures. And it kind of brought it all full circle where I was like, man, how many people dream about doing this? And it was just such a great moment. It wasn't one of my favorite episodes because of baseball in general. It was just the overall energy. It was incredible.
Wow. And I appreciate you for elaborating on that. I saw the picture. I saw the long caption with you standing on the field, Truist Field. And I almost kind of felt the same thing. I was like, wow, I know that type of feeling, man. I know that. But with us right here live on The Splash, host of the Basquatch Hunter and author of The Adventures of Sasquatch, we have Mike McKinstry on talking about his latest episodes that are due to come out very, very soon. And also locally based West Bloomfield, Basquatch Productions LLC based in West Bloomfield. We love to have him on and talk about it. Don't want to hold you up too much longer. I want to elaborate a little bit on that moment of you just taking that time, right, in silence and reflection. Tell me why that's so important, especially for someone like you who has a very, very busy schedule, reflecting on that feeling of being a kid and everything that, got you to this point right now.
Yeah, and I'm glad you brought that up, too, because with that jersey, it all brought it, we had a moment of downtime when we were filming. We were doing interviews with Dylan on the other side of the field, actually in the bullpen, which is in the very back of the outfield. And I had to go walk over to the dugout to go pick up something, which is a lot further than you think, too. That's a huge. It really puts it in perspective when you're walking it. And I was like, man, this is so big. And I don't know what it was, but the smell of the grass and the breeze and the wind and just looking around and wearing a Braves jersey and, seeing all the kids in the stands that are waving and stuff that are trying to just get a glimpse of the field. I had a weird moment where I sat down in the dugout for about 15 minutes, took some deep breaths and just looked around, and I walked out of the dugout and just felt the energy of being a player for a minute, of just what it would feel like to walk out of that dugout with the crowd staring at you. And then I walked across the entire field, the infield, the outfield. And I had a moment of reflection I normally don't get to have. It's very rare in the show we get to sit still. And I'm not the type of person that likes to sit still in general, but we never really have downtime to absorb things. And I had a moment in the field where it was so deep, and it was emotional. It was intimate. It was incredible. And it just really made me realize not only how lucky I am, but how much hard work it took me to get there. And there was hundreds of kids walking around the concourse up top, and they were all on tourism groups and stuff. And I was just like, man, if any of those kids just knew that all they have to do is dream, and all they have to do is just persevere and not give up and just overcome obstacles. If they knew at that age, if I knew at that age even, that you could be on that field they're dreaming about, they're looking down, they're dreaming about being on that field. And it's you could do that. And the fact that I get to sit there for a minute and absorb that and realize that I get to do that. And, I even reflected on other episodes and other things I've done. And we've filmed with a lot of amazing guests this year, like some professional athletes that I've just dreamt about. And it was one of those moments where I was like, man, like I'm lucky, but at the same time, like,
Yeah.
I hope people really take away that if you don't give up, then you can do that too. And anything you dream about, no matter what it is, whether it's being the president of the United States or whether it's being on a baseball field or whether it's being with NHL players or whatever it is, I had that moment where I was like, I knew what brought me there.
Yeah.
Like I had a moment of appreciation almost for myself, which is weird because I never have that. And I just sat there and I was like, man, I'm so proud and I'm just so happy. And like my team is amazing. And, dreaming is just so powerful, but having the ambition and the perseverance to actually pursue that dream, like that's where the real power is. And I got to feel that. It was incredible.
And I know it's very inspiring for a young person or anybody right here in West Bloomfield to hear and hear you say that. But thank you again, Mike, for your time. We appreciate you. Lastly, very, very quickly, tell people how they can catch up with your episodes of the Basquatch Hunter.
Yeah, absolutely. So check out BasquatchHunter.com. That's where all of our YouTube videos are parked as well. Also, Discovery Go, Discovery Plus has all of our episodes from this season and last season. And then also, of course, starting in July of 2025, you can watch us on Discovery and Pursuit Channel every Saturday for all of our new episodes. And we have some amazing new stuff. So just Google the word Basquatch on anywhere and you'll find it all on there. But go check it out. And also the book series, which you've also mentioned a couple of times too. The Adventure of Sasquatch, the best Christmas gift ever for kids. It's an amazing children's book series we have. And we have a coloring book we are releasing. It's the first time I've talked about it publicly. But we have a coloring book we're releasing in a few weeks here as well that you can follow along the adventures too.
Perfect. Once again, host of the Basquatch Hunter and author of The Adventures of Sasquatch, Mike McKinstry, we appreciate your time.
Of course. Thank you so much.
Love to support and hear about local creators and people who are doing great things right here from West Bloomfield. And we love to stay in contact with Mike McKinstry and everything that he is doing. West Bloomfield United Methodist Church's Holiday Cookie Walk is a great local cause. In case you've never heard of it, it started in 1994 by the women of the West Bloomfield United Methodist Church, replacing their annual Christmas Bazaar. And joining me live on the splash from West Bloomfield United Methodist Church is Pastor Elizabeth Hurd. Thank you so much for your time, Pastor.
Thank you so much for having me.
We appreciate that first and foremost. Let's just start off with the details. What is the Cookie Walk and when is it? Just give out those details.
Well, the Cookie Walk is exactly what it sounds like. It is a walk through our fellowship hall at the church with tons and tons of cookies that people can purchase and buy and have some treats for the holiday season. This year it is going to be on December 14th. From 10 a.m. to 11:30 a.m. At the West Bloomfield United Methodist Church. And we completely transform our fellowship hall into what is almost like a cookie wonderland.
Perfect. All right, so this is a great charitable event in some sort of way. So let's break this down. How do the proceeds from the Cookie Walk specifically benefit the women's group? And do you have any examples of projects that it may have benefited?
Yeah, so we all the proceeds from the Cookie Walk go directly to our women's group at the church, and then they have a variety of projects that they support throughout the year. Recently, at the end of last school year, they helped to purchase a set of books for a fourth grade classroom at Keego, and just to make sure that the teacher didn't have to pay out of pocket for the books. They also provide our church office with gift cards every once in a while, so $25 gift cards to Meijer or Kroger, so that when people call our church for financial support, we have at least a little something to give them. Mm-hmm. And then just a variety of other projects that they do. We just recently, we do Operation Christmas Child every single year, and the women's group purchased materials and supplies and filled just about 100 shoe boxes with the help of the church. So They do a lot of really great work. And that's what the money goes for. So
I love that. I love that, especially the fact that you're doing that and some of the proceeds, like you said, you're basically just giving those back out to the community, to those in need. And that's the essential foundation of a church. And I love to see that you're doing that. So from that perspective, I just want to talk about volunteers that you are in need of with that event. What role do they play in organizing and running the event?
Yeah, so it's completely volunteer organized and run by volunteers within the church. And so we have two incredible women, Melody and Barb, who head it up every single year. And they just ask for volunteers from within the church to do things like make the cookies, run the cash register, run the weigh stations, make sure that cookies are on the table. And it really is kind of a all hands on deck event for the people in the church. But we are also very willing to have volunteers help out from outside the church. So, if you want to make cookies or if you want to come and help us run a weigh station or run our cash register, we are more than happy to have you.
Love that.
But it's completely volunteer run.
There you go. There you go. So anybody looking for volunteer hours or just looking to give a helping hand, there's the opportunity right there. So just looking ahead, do you see any new opportunities or ideas for expanding the impact of the Cookie Walk or even the fundraising efforts in general?
Yeah, I think that's a really great question. Like you said, we did take a break from 2019 to 2022 because of COVID, and so we're kind of restarting this effort. And I think part of it is just kind of seeing where do we go in a post-COVID world with the Cookie Walk, and how can we grow it and expand it. Something I would love to see is more invitation for groups outside of the church to be involved in this and to try to make it a really great community event.
Okay.
Yeah, we're growing and we're expanding and we're changing, and this is our second year back after a break with COVID. So we're looking for new opportunities all of the time.
And we love to utilize our platform here at Civic Center TV to help spread the word for our local organizations and groups to help pitch in for the Cookie Walk. And we appreciate your time again, Reverend Hurd, for being here talking about the Cookie Walk. Once again, that information and details regarding this event for people who may have missed it.
Yes. Thank you so much. Yep, you can look at our Facebook page, West Bloomfield United Methodist Church. You can look at our website for more information. I think this graphic that was just shown gives you all you need to know. There is an event page as well for questions. And if you have any questions, you can call our church office, which I'm blanking on our phone number right now, but you can that information's on our website as well. So you can call our church office, you can email us and ask questions. So
absolutely. Thank you again so much for your time, your effort, and everything that you are doing that impacts and strengthens the West Bloomfield community. Once again, from the West Bloomfield United Methodist Church, Reverend Elizabeth Hurd. Thank you.
Thank you.
Continuously doing great things right here in the greater West Bloomfield community. You can find out all about the West Bloomfield United Methodist Church's Holiday Cookie Walk. Go directly to their Facebook, West Bloomfield United Methodist Church, for more information. Coming up, there is a local organization that's bringing holiday cheer and essential items to local families experiencing hardship. We'll talk more about that coming up. We are live, local, social. It's The Splash live on Civic Center TV and 89.3 Lakes FM.
We'll be right back with The Splash Live. Find local municipal meetings at our program schedule on civiccentertv.com. Find when your meetings air live or when they're replaying on our Civic Center TV live stream. Find it all at civiccentertv.com and click schedule at the top of the screen.
I don't know why you're so sad. You've got a roof over your head.
You gotta stop with that depression stuff. That's what white people think. You alright?
It just feels like it's coming from everywhere.
Do you want to talk about it?
You can talk to me if you're feeling sad.
Whenever you need to talk, I'm here, okay?
Hi, I'm Chris Fry, Park Superintendent, West Bloomfield Parks. Congratulations, Civic Center TV, on 1 million views on YouTube. Thank you for all you do in the community, and thank you for having me on The Splash throughout the season to talk about activities out in the parks. Chris Fry, proud to be 1 in a million.
What people are watching in West Bloomfield. Civic Center TV and 89.3 Lakes FM. And now, back to The Splash, live.
Live, local, social. It's The Splash Live on Civic Center TV and 89.3 Lakes FM. Thank you so much for joining us. I'm your host, Kevin McIntosh. And the Holiday Happiness Project helps local families in need. If you've never heard of it, it is a great initiative put on by a few local organizations. And with us right here live on The Splash from the Optimist Club of West Bloomfield, we have Terry Janetti. Thank you for being here, Terry.
Good morning. Thank you for having me. Michael.
Yes, I appreciate that first and foremost. So let's get straight into it. Starting off, just tell us a little bit more details about the Holiday Happiness Project in general.
Okay. I joined the West Bloomfield Optimist Club, and it'd been a few years we'd been gone, and I used to belong to the Keego Optimist Club. So it's something that's near and dear to my heart. So I joined, and one of the first activities I was involved in was Holiday Happiness a few years ago. And what a great opportunity. And all the literature that I read and some of the work that I do says that when you do something for others, you end up feeling better and you end up even lessening your anxiety. So the Holiday Happiness is an event that we're going to distribute baskets of goodies to needy families. Now, the first thing we probably wonder is West Bloomfield, isn't that a pretty big community? But we do have needy families here and in Keego. And we're working together with the Keego Club, the Jacket Club, and we are going to provide a basket that is full of a Thanksgiving or a holiday food, a turkey, all the sides, all kinds of goodies in there. We buy their kids either hoodies or jackets for the winter, and we buy either, it depends on the age, what's appropriate. We end up giving the kids a game or giving them a toy or giving them a gift card, because the 8th grade and above probably would rather go shopping and get their own thing. So, right? And then they come to the fire station on December 21st.
Okay.
Between 11 and 12, they've already been notified. They'll be notified, reminded again where, and they come through. It's amazing. It's amazing every time I saw it, because they come through the fire station in the back where the trucks are, and they drive through. They stop at different stations. They get this basket. It not only has food, but and stuff for the kids, but it also has household supplies. And we get donations. We get the actual donations of some as much as we can of food for the rest. And then we drive through the one car. We service only one car. We welcome them. It's just wonderful to see their faces. They take the stuff and talk about feeling good. It just is a wonderful experience, not just for them, but for us.
Right.
And I know there's a lot of families that will be grateful.
And it's a great time that you all are doing this, especially like we said during the holidays, where a lot of people are showing how cheerful they are spending time with family and maybe out shopping, but not everyone has a family. Not everyone has the ability to get gifts or receive gifts and things of that nature. So for you all to actually put that foot forward, we appreciate that and happy to acknowledge that. I want you to briefly elaborate on some of the specific needs faced by families in the greater West Bloomfield community during the holiday season.
Well, like you said it very well. There are small unit families where they don't have outside families. They don't have to go. That's one issue. The other issue is they don't have the money to, they're budgeting, and they do the best they can, and they don't have budget money to go out and get some things that they, that they feel good about. And not just the food, so they can enjoy it with their immediate family, but also all the other things. We wrap everything up, the gifts, on that Friday before. So the kids get things that are wrapped up. We get volunteers. So I think it just really helps those that don't have as much as we do. And I'm really proud of that.
And I'm happy, and I'm once again so happy that you all are doing this for our local community and those in need specifically. Once again, join us right here live on The Splash from the Optimist Club of West Bloomfield, Terry Janetti, talking about the Holiday Happiness Project and how they give back to local families in need during this holiday time. I want you to briefly also talk about the fact that you all are getting donations for this and also getting help from the community as far as volunteers. Just talk a little bit more about the process of getting these donations, where they come from, and then talk about the volunteering aspect of it also.
Yeah, I'd love to. First of all, I don't want to start naming people that have given something, but there are local businesses, local, like the police, the firefighters, local businesses, like I said, jewelry stores. There's all kinds of businesses, grocery stores. They help us with the food, and they give us actual money, or like the grocery stores, the products. We put it on Facebook, and we send out formal letters to everybody that has given in the past, especially the bigger businesses that can also.
I think we may be experiencing some slight technical difficulties. We have you back now, right now. From the Optimist Club of West Bloomfield, Terry Janetti, just talking about the Holiday Happiness Project that they do to help those in need in our greater West Bloomfield area. Just a few more questions before we get out of here. I know this is a collaboration with the Jacket Club of Keego Harbor as well as the West Bloomfield School District. Can you just talk about how important this collaboration is with these two organizations and how it works, please?
It sure is helpful because we don't, unless some of us used to work for the school, so we could share some names, but none of us do that now. So we have to have access, and it has to be private. We can't make those names public at all. So we go to great lengths to just assign people numbers, etc. But the social workers in West Bloomfield schools give us names confidentially of families that what they need, etc. And then so the schools help, and the Jacket. There's a lady there, Pat, and she helps us so much, and we help her. So we meet together and we find out our needs, number of families, etc., etc. And then we divide the tasks up. She may get this, we may get this. We're sharing this. She's getting some of the food this time, and then the fighters are going to transport it, because when you have that many, and we have about, I think, 50 families, if we raise more money, we might be able to even do more, but we have at least 50. So they transport the from the grocery store, et cetera. They pick.
Overall, I love the fact that there's so many different moving parts from organizations, but overall, it's working together in synergy. And we love talking to people from organizations in our greater West Bloomfield area and how they put on events and initiatives and programs, and they collaborate with other organizations. We love to see how that works, and thank you for explaining that also. Real briefly, again, before we let you go, just give out the details and information about the Holiday Happiness Project. If anyone wants to help by donating and volunteering, or if anyone is in need, how can they get that information?
Okay. If anyone would like to donate, we're still trying to raise money to cover all the costs. I'll make a checkout, or you can give them my cell phone number if that helps, and they can call or text for directions of what they should do, and different ways of getting the money, some Venmo, all kinds of different, we'll pick that up, whatever. And so feel free to do that. And what else did you ask?
Volunteering, donating, and for families in need.
Yeah, yes. I think we have quite a number of families that we've targeted already, but, you know, two more came in the last day or so. So again, just get them to me or send me a text. That's the easiest way. And then as far as volunteers, Friday, December 20th, we're going to wrap gifts. and we need what we call rappers. And it's also fun. It's a fun day. Nice. Everything's organized. You come in, you rap, you go, and they feel good. And we're going to be wrapping gifts again at the fire station, and it's the fire station on Maple, just east of Orchard Lake Road. And the wrapping will be from about 10 to 1. When we're done, we're done.
Perfect.
And Saturday, we're going to, we have to pack things up and be ready to distribute. So the cars start coming between 11 and 12. But we'd need people before that and to clean up after, the people that don't want to be on the front lines, but we sure need them to clean up and set up.
Oh,
so
yes.
That's February. I don't think so. December 20th and December 21st, and feel free to text me. If I don't get back right away, it means I'm getting a lot of texts. And a lot of money.
Well, either way it go, we appreciate your work. We appreciate everything you, the Optimist Club of West Bloomfield, and the Jacket Club of Keego Harbor is doing for our community. Once again, from the Optimist Club of West Bloomfield, Terry Janetti, we appreciate your time.
Thank you.
Yes, and I know it was probably a lot to consume there, but if you are looking for more information on the Holiday Happiness Project, how you can help and things of that nature, go to the Facebook page of the West Bloomfield Optimist Club, West Bloomfield Optimist on Facebook for more information regarding that. A community church needs help spreading joy this holiday. As a matter of fact, the Spirit of Grace Church is hosting a reverse Advent calendar program right here during this month. So join us right here live on The Splash. Tell us a little bit more about this calendar and this program. We'll talk a little bit more about this as we come up. We have more details as we kind of figure things out. But we are live, local, social. It's The Splash live on Civic Center TV and 89.3 Lakes FM.
We'll be right back with The Splash Live. Find local municipal meetings at our program schedule on civiccentertv.com. Find when your meetings air live or when they're replaying on our Civic Center TV live stream. Find it all at civiccentertv.com and click schedule at the top of the screen.
I don't know why you're so sad. You've got a roof over your head.
You gotta stop with that depression stuff. That's what white people think. You alright?
It just feels like it's coming from everywhere.
Do you want to talk about it?
You can talk to me if you're feeling sad.
Whenever you need to talk, I'm here, okay?
I'm Gina Gregory, president of the Greater West Bloomfield Historical Society. I'm excited that Civic Center TV has reached 1 million views on YouTube. Congratulations. That's just terrific. We appreciate everything Civic Center does for the Greater West Bloomfield Historical Society and the community. For us, they promote and highlight our events. It's awesome to have them available 24/7 on YouTube. I'm Gina Gregory and proud to be one in a million.
What people are watching in Sylvan Lake, Civic Center TV, and 89.3 Lakes FM. And now, back to The Splash, live.
Live, local, social, it's The Splash live on Civic Center TV and 89.3 Lakes FM. Thank you for joining us. I'm your host, Kevin McIntosh. Getting back to the topic of a local community church needing help spreading joy this holiday season, and that church is the Spirit of Grace Church, continuously doing great things in our community. And Civic Center TV's very own Jake Schaff had a chance to speak with the pastor of Spirit of Grace Church, Joyce Partica-Steib.
With the holiday season in full swing, many organizations are making sure to spread the joy and the happiness this season. And the Spirit of Grace Church is doing so with their Reverse Advent Calendar program. Here to tell us more about this program, we have pastor with the Spirit of Grace Church, Joyce Partica-Steib, joining us on The Splash today. Joyce, how are you?
I'm doing well. How are you?
Really, really good, and glad to have you with us to hear about this program. Now, most people would know what an advent calendar is. It's one of those things where you open up each day and you get like maybe a treat inside, or it shows like a little photo for the holiday season. But this is a reverse advent calendar. Tell me what that means.
So, what that means is instead of getting something out of it every day, you're giving something to it. And so we really started it because we have some things that we like to support. So at Spirit of Grace, we have a diabetic food pantry. We have a blessing box that is available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, in which people can get food and sometimes toiletries out of. And then we also like to support our school systems. And so when we were thinking about how to do all of this, really the reverse advent calendar was the best way to do it. So we tried to find some objects that people could find for a decent price, either at the dollar store or things that go on sale often, so that it wasn't overburdening people to ask them to donate to all of these organizations. But at the same time, we were able to support the community in different ways.
Oh, I really like that. That is so cool what you're doing for the community. And go into detail maybe on the types of items that you're accepting for this program.
So we're really accepting anything from food to school supplies to hats, gloves, and scarves. So each day has a different designation. Some of the things that we're looking for, particularly for our diabetic food pantry, are things like sugar-free pudding or Jell-O, maybe some peanut butter and jelly. Those can also go in our blessing box. And then we're also looking for things like dry erase markers, crayons, erasers, Lysol wipes that can be donated to the school to help them, because we know that once that second part of the year starts in January, supplies tend to run low because they've been used all year.
That's absolutely right. And if you're watching on Civic Center TV, you can see on our screen right now the full advent calendar and the list of items, each designated item for each designated day in December. Now, go into a little more detail on how this program got started. Is this the first year you guys are doing this program, or has this been going on for a while?
This is year number 2. I heard about it from a colleague of mine in a different state, and I went, oh, that's a really cool idea. And so I talked to our community action team and our council president or vestry president and asked, what they thought about it. And they were ecstatic, because it meant that instead of trying to have 3 different donation bins, it meant that we could combine things and again, be aware of what we're asking people to donate, because we know that there are so many places that you can give donations and so many people asking for those donations. We didn't want to overburden people, but at the same time, we wanted to be able to support our community.
And does this provide a fun little aspect to the Spirit of Giving this year?
I really think it does. I think one of the joys that I have is that it spans all generations. So it's not like somebody just giving money. It really is, I can take my son to the grocery store and pick out these items, or I can take my son to the dollar store and ask him to help me pick out these different items. And I think it's something that families can participate in. And even if you can't do all of the days, or, you forget a day here and there, it's okay. There's really no pressure to it, and there's no commitment to it.
That's right. Do what you can and don't go overboard if you're not able to. For those just joining us on the Splash Live, we have pastor with the Spirit of Grace Church, Joyce Partica-Stibe, joining us to talk about the reverse Advent calendar program that's going on all throughout the month of December. And Joyce, you mentioned a little bit before where most of these donations are going to be benefiting. Could you go into a little more detail on where they will be benefiting, and maybe go into your relationship with these organizations?
So the diabetic food pantry is right at Spirit of Grace. It gives out food once a month to people who are either diabetic or pre-diabetic, and it really focuses on creating or selecting healthy food to give out to folks in that population. The second organization that it helps is, again, right at Spirit of Grace. We have a blessing box outside of our front door that is available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. We ask that you take what you need and leave what you can. So we really don't know how much food is coming in and out of there, because we don't know what other people are leaving and taking and all of that good stuff. But it helps us give a basis for making sure that that box always has something in it, or we try to always have something in it. And then the West Bloomfield School District has always been a great support of the ministries at Spirit of Grace. And so we like to do something to give back to them. So some of the elementary schools will be receiving hats, gloves, and scarves so that if students are coming in and they've lost theirs or they just don't have them, the schools can provide those things.
And that's amazing that you guys are helping to provide those things for those people. And having had this program go on for a few days now, what have you heard from people who've been participating so far, and what's the turnout been like?
So we haven't seen anything yet, partially because we've asked people to keep their bags until January when those can come in, because it is an Advent thing. We have told people that they can just bring them in as they want to or as they need to. So we really haven't seen anything yet that I'm aware of. But at the same time, I love the comparisons that people are doing. You know, I got this little hat, glove, scarf at, you know, Walmart, or I found this really cool thing at Kohl's, or, you know, whatever they're doing, or I'm going to get this flavor of jelly. And some of them are planning out their grocery shopping trips around those items. So it's really fun to see the community come around it too. And we've posted it on our social media, and to see community members, people that I don't see in church on Sunday mornings participating in this is really awesome.
That's amazing that this is reaching so many other people, not even people who are going to the church. It's going beyond that. And you talked about your socials a little bit. Where can people go to learn a little more information about this program and for ways that they can help give back and donate?
So Spirit of Grace Facebook page is a great place to start. We also have an Instagram page, Spirit of Grace West Bloom, or WB. And then, you know, anytime you need something or you want to find out more information, calling the church office is always a possibility, or you can email me at pastorjoyce@spiritofgrace.church.
All right, great locations to go and to learn a little more information. Joyce, before we let you go, any final words to say to everybody to get them to come out and donate?
So Spirit of Grace has a longtime relationship of being in partnership with the West Bloomfield community and the surrounding areas, Keego Harbor, Orchard Lake. I don't want to leave anyone out, so I can't name them all. But what I really find meaningful is that it really is a community effort. So thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you for supporting what we're doing. Thank you for supporting us and supporting our community. And thank you for participating in the ways that you can.
That's right, and we thank you for all the work that you do for the great people of West Bloomfield, Keego Harbor, Orchard Lake, Sylvan Lake, and beyond. Joyce Partakas-Stibe, we thank you for your time today.
Thank you.
Great information. If you are looking to find out more about what Spirit of Grace has going on, visit their Facebook, Spirit O Grace, or go directly to their website, spiritofgrace.church, for more information. When the weather is snowy, many want to get inside, get cozy, and possibly dive into a great book and story. And over at the West Bloomfield Library, many of our most avid readers are helping each other find that next adventure in a book and make some friends along the way. And reporter from Civic Center TV, Jake Schaff, has a story.
The joy of reading has always been a strong one here in West Bloomfield, and there's no better place for avid readers to come from all across the community to talk about the next great story than with Book Talks, a monthly book club event that takes place right here at the West Bloomfield Township Public Library that's been happening for the last 40 years. 40 years of telling stories, sharing memories, and building that ever-strong love of reading. What is Book Talks?
It's the library's version of a book group. Every month, 12 months a year now, we choose a book. The facilitators, the people who lead the discussions, get together. We choose the books for a 6-month period. And then each month we do 2 conversations about those books, where those of us who call ourselves facilitators lead the conversation. We don't try and lecture or teach about the book, but rather think of it as a library-based book group. And 1984, August of 1984 was the very first book talk. And the interesting thing is that nobody really knew that. When I got involved, somebody handed me a whole bunch of the bookmarkers that we print all the time to show the book talks, what they're going to be. And when I realized that this was 40th anniversary, I said, that's a good excuse for a party. So we're partying tonight.
And it's great that all of these people bond together just simply from the joy of reading.
Absolutely. We're all readers and we love reading. And if you're a reader, there's nothing you like better than sitting around talking with someone about a book. Whether you loved it or whether you hated it, having other people to talk to about it is a great thing.
How long have you been involved with book talks?
6 to 7 years after I retired. I enjoy it. I look forward to once a month gatherings. And it's nice to hear other people's thoughts on the book that I have read. Sometimes it opens your eyes. Sometimes you find out what somebody else is thinking about the same book. Or if something you have not kind of understood, it helps to understand that.
Everybody is friendly, everybody's sharing their knowledge of books, everybody's talking about books. It's exactly what we hoped would happen tonight. I sat down at a table with somebody who did not know anybody here who came, and I said, let me join you, and we started talking about books, and the conversation just flowed, and as people kept joining us, it just grew more and more. It just was absolutely delightful.
What do you think people get out of attending book talks other than just learning about brand new books?
I think one of the things they get is they get to meet other readers, and I think that's important. I think it ties them to the library, and this is an amazing library, one of the best in the country. A 5-star library, according to the Library Journal, and I think that it's 12 of them in the state of Michigan. That's pretty amazing. So it also makes them library patrons and library fans and library supporters. And the other thing the book talks do is they bring people into the Friends, and the Friends are major supporters of the library.
Book talks may be 40 years in, but there are still plenty of stories to tell and plenty of connections to be made. And as the club turns the page into a new chapter of celebration, it'll be exciting to see just what those stories are and how the community will continue to bond over the joy of a good book. For Civic Center TV, I'm Jake Schaff.
Thank you for that story, Jake. Very, very great to know that there is a great place for people who are avid readers to all meet in one place. For upcoming book talk dates every month at the main library, you can visit their website, wblib.org, for more information. The menorah in the D is currently being prepared for the holiday celebration. In case you didn't know, here's a quick did you know fact. The menorah in the D features the largest menorah in Michigan, a massive 26-foot steel and glass structure designed by local artists with that in mind. So with us right here live on the Splash, giving more information about Menorah on the D, VP and Executive Director of the Chabad Lubavitch of Michigan, we have Rabbi Kazriel Shemtov. Thank you for being here, Rabbi.
Thank you for having me.
So let's just get straight into this unique event right here. Just tell us a little bit more about Menorah in the D, please.
Well, we're excited to be back here again this year. It's now a staple of celebration in Detroit, where we launch the holiday of Hanukkah for the city of Detroit and essentially for the state of Michigan. So it's a wonderful opportunity. And when we come together on the 25th of December at 5 o'clock, the city of Detroit will begin to celebrate, and it launches an 8-day holiday. So we're very excited to do this. And we're looking forward.
Yes, yes. And as you mentioned earlier, it's been going on for a few years. It's grown over those years, too, with that being said. What do you believe contributed to the growth of this event and the increasing sense of unity within the Jewish community in Metro Detroit?
Wow. It's 14 years. And when we came, I remember that first lighting that we had in Campus Martius. It was dark. There was almost no lighting there. And when we announced it and we called people to come together in the center of the city, we were surprised. There were 500 people came out at that time. And I remember always that first night as we were getting ready, looking forward. and I see a person standing there with, before the crowds came, and he's looking at me and he goes, "I can't believe it. I have goosebumps just thinking that we're going to be here in the center of the city and celebrating Hanukkah.
Yes.
This is amazing.
Yes.
I can't believe this is happening." And I think that sense of excitement just grew and grew, and people came together. We have thousands that come together. And just the idea of celebrating this beautiful holiday, the message of hope, of light, of being a light unto others, bringing warmth and light into the world, is something that really resonated both in the Jewish community and without. And it just continued to grow, both in terms of people attending, and then, of course, when we started doing it online, as well as corporate sponsors, government officials, and everyone else that comes out. It just continued to gain inspiration. And the beautiful thing is that even a month before, there are already interest both in media and in members of the community looking forward to this great event.
Yes, yes, as we all are, by the way, too, Rabbi, and we appreciate that information. You spoke on something I want to kind of elaborate on a little bit more. Specifically with this year, if I'm not mistaken, there's different themes each year. Can you just talk a little bit more about the theme for this year and how it resonates with the local community?
Well, if you look at you had it up on the screen before. This year we have menorah in the D, and we put a tagline onto that: "Dare to be the light." And one of the messages of Hanukkah in general is, the idea of lighting a candle. Normally, you would do that at a candlelight dinner at home, or in the Jewish community, we do that on the Sabbath. You're sitting with your family, you're bringing warmth and shelter and comfort, and peace. The idea of going to the outside, and when it's dark, the outside has other forces, has challenges. There's darkness in the world. There's challenges that you have to your spiritual life. And Hanukkah is the time when you have to dare to be the light. You have to go out to the outside, to the center of the city, to those things that seem to be a challenge, and to bring light and warmth. And that's the power of Hanukkah. And that's why I think this year, many people are troubled. We look around the world, we see so many challenges and what some people would call darkness. And the message of Hanukkah is, you have the power to bring light. Because, when you as an individual go out there, embrace someone, help someone, bring light into their life, bring light into the world, we all have that power to be there. And that's what we're going to do on Hanukkah when we come out into the public square.
Yes, yes. And I love how you broke that down and the significance of it and the candles and the light and the darkness in the world. I love that theme, dare to be the light in this darkness. It is like a challenge in some sort of way, but it's a good challenge that we all should kind of recognize. With us right here live on The Splash, VP and Executive Director for the Chabad Lubavitch of Michigan, we have Rabbi Kazriel Shimtov talking about Menorah in the D event. We don't have too much time left, Rabbi. Just real briefly, just talk about some things we can expect, and if anybody is interested in the event, how can they find out more?
Well, it's just going to be a lot of fun. It's exhilarating to come out there in downtown. A lot's going on. It'll be a happy night. There'll be food and celebration, entertainment, camaraderie, just being with friends, being with the community, and being there with a focus of bringing light and warmth to the community. The Rebbe, the Lubavitcher Rebbe of blessed memory, he started this campaign over 40 years ago. And today you have these lightings going on outside the White House, outside the Kremlin, the Eiffel Tower, in every large city around the world, and many more. There's thousands of these lightings taking place. And today Detroit became one of those cities that have this incredible, beautifully designed menorah, and so many people coming as part of it. So we can be proud as Detroit, as Michigan, to be part of this message, to be part of this global message. And for the community at large, the Jewish community, it's 8 nights. Every night in our home, we light a candle. And Chabad Lubavitcher, Michigan has every night of Hanukkah all across the state, public menorah lighting. And if you go to our website, menorahinthed.com, you'll see every night another public lighting which you can participate after this great lighting of the launching of Menorah in the D. So I would recommend everyone find out. Also on our website, you could get a menorah, you could get a Hanukkah kit, which you could put into your, which you can have to light your candles at home with your family, and then join the public lightings as well.
Perfect, perfect, perfect. Just one thing that came to my mind real briefly. I just want you to explain the importance, or not even the importance, why people who are not a part of the Jewish community like myself, why it's great for us to attend this event.
You know, the whole celebration of Hanukkah and the miracle of Hanukkah was when the Jewish people in Israel almost 2,000 years ago were being persecuted against their religion. And they were able to stand up and be free again and dedicate themselves to the service of God. America stands for religious freedom. And all citizens in America enjoy that religious freedom. So Hanukkah is really has such a universal message for all of us, that we can all live in a free society, serve God, and be able to help and bring light to each other. So when any person, and many people, I should tell you, do join us for this celebration. I hear comments every year from all across the community of the joy and the the receiving of this message, and many people resonate with it, that we could live peacefully together and be strong as a country with unity.
Absolutely. Yes, I love that. And thank you for bringing that full circle, explaining that, and bringing full context. Once again, VP and Executive Director of the Chabad Lubavitch of Michigan, we have Rabbi Kazriel Shimtov, and we appreciate your time, Rabbi. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Absolutely. Menorah in the D happening December 25th, campus marches in downtown Detroit at 5 p.m. We will continuously keep you updated on that and other events. In the greater West Bloomfield, we love to be the channel for everything that's going on and impacting our local residents. Once again, I'm your host, Kevin McIntosh. Per usual, we are live, local, social. It's The Splash Live on Civic Center TV and 89.3 Lakes FM.